back in the kitchen with Lucy Greer. Lucy, remind the folks what we're working on today.
Today we're working on a slow cooker pork taco soup. We talked about everybody loves taco soup, and typically it's made with ground beef, but today we're going to use pork tenderloin. So what I already did here was we mixed up our spice rub. That was cumin, chili powder, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. And we just mixed that together, and then in the bottom of the slow cooker we just tossed half of that spice rub with our pork tenderloin. I just bought one pork tenderloin that is a little over a pound, and I cut that up into pieces and just tossed half of that spice mixture in there together. So we have that on the bottom, and now I'm going to add some of our vegetables. I have one red bell pepper and one green bell pepper that I just chopped up. And I also have half of an onion that I chopped up. And you mentioned the ideal thing about a slow cooker. You put it together before you go to work or go to school or whatever you're doing, and then you come home and it's finished. And it's funny because people always say, well, how long should I put it in the slow cooker? I'm like, anything you put in there on low for 8 to 10 hours will be perfect. So I don't really know the science behind a slow cooker, but it is genius. And I love to cook with them. And the great thing about it is everything that you put in here, just really the flavors just all come together, and the meat stays moist, and everything is just really great. And especially when people are trying to eat healthier, you know, you could put this in here and you don't have to add a bunch of oil or a bunch of butter or a bunch of fat to whatever you're cooking. The moisture is going to stay right in here. So this recipe is actually very helpful because we're using that lean pork that I talked about. So look for that pork tenderloin or the pork loin. So, and we also mixed up our own spice rub, so there's no extra additives or anything in there. So now I'm going to add a few more vegetables. We're going to add 1 can of Rotel tomatoes with the juice. And then I have a can of black beans, and I did rinse these off and I just put them back in the can. So rinse your beans, you drain them and rinse them. And then also 1 can of corn that I just drained. So we'll put that in there.
And while you're working on that, you and I were talking during the commercial break here. You've enhanced some of your Greer stores. You want to tell the folks a little bit about that?
Yes, we enhanced our store in State Line, Mississippi, and also Millry, Alabama. And I know that this station reaches up that way because when we were at both of those stores the week before last doing our grand opening ribbon cutting, I met so many nice customers, and they all love watching y'all's show, and they love to see what we're cooking on here each Wednesday. So I had the best time in those 2 places. So if you live in either of those communities or the surrounding communities, hello again.
Hello, thanks for watching.
Yes, thanks for watching. I was so glad to meet everybody last week. And that's what's so nice about some of these smaller communities where we have stores and we've had them there for years, or the store has been there for just, you know, 100 years probably, but we've bought it from, you know, people that were running it before. And what's great is, you know, everybody just knows everybody in these communities. You know, we're from Mobile, and it's a big place, and you know a lot of people, but these smaller towns, they have such loyalty and such just respect and greatness for the family, which is what we're all about.
Yeah, Greer is a family-owned business, all about family personal relationships with the community. Been around for 100 years, celebrating that this year, so congratulations to y'all. We're going to continue to work on that and finish it up in just a little while.